and welcome back to Chainlink Q&A. I'm Zaji Reyes here on behalf of Chainlink Labs, and I'm really happy to be here today with Diego from MetaSoccer. We're going to be discussing how soccer is entering the metaverse. So hey Diego, how's it going?
Hello everyone. Doing well, and you? Thanks a lot for having us here.
Yeah, we're so excited to have you. Soccer is actually something I hold near and dear to my heart. I'm from South America, so my first word ever was goal. So I am ready to talk about soccer today with you.
Great.
Awesome. So why don't you jump into things? What is MetaSoccer? What inspired it, and how are you connecting with users?
Yeah, sure. So, as a bit of background, MetaSoccer is being developed by Champion Games, which is a game company based in Barcelona, which we've been working since 2015 in the football fantasy games landscape. So, the thing about fantasy football games is that they're based on real soccer. So, the issue we found is that during the pandemic, well, real football just stopped. So our product, our game wasn't working anymore because the results are based on real players and real matches, etc. So we were looking at opportunities on how could we move forward and what could be the next steps to make our game wider and also to not being affected by this kind of issues. So that's where MetaSoccer came out. So we decided to we kind of were aware of the NFT space. We were in the blockchain ecosystem for a while, but didn't really started building on it. So we find it was the perfect timing because the real world was kind of stopped. So let's look at alternatives, and we found that MetaSoccer was a good idea in this sense because we could still make football happen even if the real world is kind of stopped because we are creating this new metaverse. So this is a bit of the background of MetaSoccer, and the idea is not only to replicate the actual matches itself. It's actually so we can kind of replicate the whole football ecosystem, which is huge. I mean, and there's many different things going on around football, and that's the idea behind MetaSoccer. Not only to play the matches, but also all the things that come together. And for example, one key thing that we are starting with is that we are not creating or minting the players ourselves. We created another asset, which is the Youth Scout, and the Youth Scout is the asset that it's finding new players and bringing them into the metaverse.
Right. Yeah. This is super interesting background. I think people are, it's interesting to hear about how you started in the pandemic and how issues that were creating, problems for maybe other games you had worked on were actually the inspiration into creating this new metaverse. So yeah, very interesting just story there. And the Youth Scout NFTs are very interesting. If I'm not wrong, when I was looking up more about the project, it sounds like those Youth Scouts actually age as they progress in the metaverse. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's correct. All the assets inside the metaverse will age. The players also, because it's kind of a deflationary aspect to the minting of the potential minting of players. That said, the aging system has not started yet. It will start once all the bases for the game are in place. We expect it to be in the second half of this year. So don't worry, users. Like now, the assets aren't aging; they are starting to be created, but they stay the same. The idea is that when we activate aging, they will evolve like 1 month in the metaverse. 1 month in real life will equal to 1 year in the metaverse, and we expect that Youth Scouts will live around 3 years in the real world, whereas players will live around 2 years in the real world. And the idea is that players can still be found with new scouts. When they retire, they have a chance to become a Youth Scout themselves. But also, the Youth Scouts can mentor between them. So each Youth Scout can mentor with another Youth Scout and bring a third one into place, a new one. So this way, when they start aging, we will see a new generation coming from these mentorings. So that's a bit the idea. So we can, again, the idea is kind of making it as realistic as possible.
Yeah.
And the players in real life have they're not playing all their lives, no? So they age, they retire, and we want to replicate this.
Yeah, I thought that was very smart to actually make it feel a lot like real life. I thought that concept was super interesting, so I wanted to highlight that. Thanks for explaining. And then, how is play to earn, fitting into this metaverse? Where does that get started?
Well, for us, the key of there's a lot of talk about metaverse and like, but for us, the biggest part here, or the biggest key of a metaverse is the users need to own the assets. That's what makes a metaverse. I mean, they're not depending on whatever the development company is doing or whatever. They actually have the ownership of the assets, and this is thanks to the blockchain technology and to NFTs and etc. So being a part, being owners of the actual metaverse and of the actual ecosystem, it's only natural that the most of the revenue that this metaverse is generating, it's redistributing through them. So that for us is the key. The key for making the MetaSoccer work is that the proceeds we will be getting from everything that it's going happening in all of these different revenue streams we have by replicating the football. Then at the end, most of this, the biggest part will go back in form of rewards to the users.
Yeah, that's a really interesting cycle you're creating there. And, there's incentive there as a user to continue playing and staying within the metaverse. So I think that that's a really cool format that you all built out. Great. And then how about governance? There's a governance aspect to MetaSoccer, correct?
Yes. I mean, it's more a direction we want to go. And because right now, the governance is on the hands of the team, because we're in a very early stage and we want to make sure all the basic layers are very set up and working before we handle governance to the community. But the idea is that we will transition to a DAO when we are ready. And this will be key because it will allow the community itself to decide about the future of MetaSoccer. We want to make sure that the thing is up and running properly, and we have everything more or less balanced. And from then, we will allow the whole community to decide. Okay, we need to change these rewards. We want to make what want they do with the treasury funds, etc. So it's a little early to discuss about real decentralized governance. We like the concept, and I mean. We in all of the team, we are very pro open source. All of our code will be released on time. All the contracts are public and audited for sure. But the actual game logic, etc., will be open source too. It's not the case yet because we want it to be polished before we publish it. But yeah, and the idea is that to make so the community owns everything, not only the assets, but also the governance going through this. But this will take a couple of years to get there.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I mean, decentralization, governance, all of that takes a lot of time to actually implement. But I think the roadmap, having that in the future, I'm sure that, your community is excited to see that, which is
And
great.
the biggest issue with governance in very early stages is that you want to make sure there's something to govern. And maybe if we go right now to there, maybe we won't get to the vision we have now. So first, let's materialize the vision, and then let's hand over to the community. We will be a bigger part of the community also, because we all really like a lot. Talking about the developers and etc. We all like the game a lot, and we invest and we have their assets and we want to play, etc. So we will still be part of the DAO when we transition. That's also people also I think that when you transition the governance to a DAO, the team doesn't have a say anymore. Well, the team is also the DAO because they should be there because they believe in the project and they have assets, so they will also be heard. It's just less having the discretionary hand on it and more kind of making everything transparent, public, and we will be eager to get there as soon as possible, but it will take some time.
Yeah. But I do think, as a community member, it's important to see that the leaders want to stay in the project, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like that you're here for the long run. And I think that that's a valuable thing within the leadership team. So very cool, very cool. And how are you all positioning yourselves within, the metaverse? I know it's really early stages, as we've talked about, right? Like projects have only just gotten started. This is definitely a long-term vision. So where do you see yourself maybe within different types of sports metaverses or play to earn? Where do you see yourselves?
Well, our idea is to become kind of the reference in metaverse sports. So the engine we're building right now for MetaSoccer will be easily expandable to I don't know, basket or whatever other different sports, because at the end the basics will be very, very similar. So we want to be the reference on this, and we are kind of we want to position ourselves as the leader in sports. And right now, for this to happen, we are kind of ensuring we have with football enough visibility and also enough key partners that we'll be discussing later on of this. But we're onboarding key football players. We have a very famous Ballon d'Or that we will announce really soon, that he will be joining the Metaverse as a special edition. We also recently partnered, for example, with Vasco da Gama, with the Brazilian football club, which they will have their own club version in the Metaverse. And right now they have the MetaSoccer logo on their t-shirts and everything. So the community was really hyped with this last release. And this for us, it's key to lead these markets. We need to have a strong image. So it hasn't been the focus yet because we want to build first and have something to show, at least a very basic gameplay. And right now we are just at the delivering the assets. But once we get there, and we hope it will be rather soon because everything is being working on already, we will make a huge push on marketing to make sure we keep this image and we kind of manage to lead this market.
Yeah. Well, and that's the interesting thing about the blockchain industry is that you can easily access teams usually, right? Like in the Discord or in the Telegram. And so it's always important, to be communicating and to be as honest with everybody as possible. So it sounds like you're all doing that. And your community is super excited. So talk to me more about that community. Is it mainly soccer fans or like crypto natives? What have you seen coming into the MetaSoccer group?
Well, that's one of the big challenges we want to approach with MetaSoccer, is how to bring all of this huge market of the soccer fans into the metaverse and into the crypto world, no? Because at the end, we don't want only crypto savvy users to come. We have of those. This is more the power users we have, and for sure we have them. But we're kind of trying to reach also the users that are more without prior experience with crypto stuff, and we don't have already any crypto holding, etc.
Yeah.
And it's been kind of a challenge because especially being in a layer 2 as Polygon, and then our token is it's difficult to access, and they have to do many steps, and some of them are kind of lost in the process. But thanks,
there's a lot of education there.
There's a lot of education, and that's also where the community we currently have is playing an amazing role. For example, we got a YouTube channel called MetaSoccer Academy, where there is a community member with doing amazing work, helping us introduce these users, and it's all organic growth. He just do this because he was in love with the project, and since then he's been supporting us a lot, like also recording all the EMAs, posting in the channel, like translating, because it's in a Spanish channel. So he's doing an amazing work, and also we have it was, I think, last week or 2 weeks ago, we have our first MetaSoccer only guild, which is called When United. So it's kind of members from the community which are joined force to build the best teams themselves and decide the best strategies, etc. So honestly, we're in a very early stage, but we're seeing very promising things, very promising milestones in the community from the community side. And it's amazing because it's one of the drivers of the project. No? If we have this community motivates us, help us keep us going forward, doing as much as possible to keep the deadlines, even if it's not that easy. So it's really challenging, cool. and really a help point having that friendly and supportive community.
Totally. I mean, Chainlink's the same. Like we wouldn't be anywhere without our community. So I can definitely relate to that. And it's of course, as you mentioned, just the driving force behind everything. So definitely relatable there. And
that's the beauty of Web3 project, no? And this space and everything, because it's power to the community, and the community owns the project. And it's this is the philosophy. Definitely, we want to support here.
Yes, definitely, 100%. And on the soccer front, you're mentioning where this community is coming from. What are the similarities in MetaSoccer to the traditional world of soccer? Are there some things that are very similar? Are there things that are different? I think like people who are trying to join and learn more might be curious as to how it all relates.
Well, MetaSoccer is a football manager game. So you won't be playing yourself the match. You will be deciding the lineup of your team, and then deciding the strategy your team will follow, and also managing the tactics and the replacements, etc. So That said, from this sector of the games, we want to keep as realistic as possible. So the players will have many things, many different aspects, different skills, but also condition. They will have emotional status, etc. So at the beginning, for sure, this will be much more basic because we want to deliver some kind of gameplay as soon as possible, and in order to do this, we'll need to take many compromises and deliver something simple. But the idea is we're gonna iterate until we reach a level of realistic of the realism that it's as far as possible. And the idea is to have at the end 3D simulations where even the highest leagues match are broadcasted on Twitch, and then people can bet on them. So we want to replicate as much as possible as from the real world. We also have stadiums coming on. We've partnered with a big stadium design in the studio, and we will have amazing stadiums coming into the metaverse that we would like to sell fractionalized, so everyone can own a part of the stadium and get a revenue cut from the earnings of that stadium. So yeah, there's many things in coming, step by step. But yeah, the idea is we want to make this as realistic as possible, and even get to the point where we have fans of football like you can have of traditional clubs, but of metaverse clubs, and kind of following the matches and betting on them and kind of following their actions very closely. And this is also one point where we believe partnering with real clubs is key, but also partnering with big gaming guilds, because we really believe gaming guilds will have a huge visibility and a huge impact and influence in the coming years. And we definitely want them to see the biggest of them, like playing against each other to make sure they get to the best post possible. And there's definitely lots of things to be done there.
Yeah, building out all of those support systems, I'm sure. Very cool. And did you want to share some examples of some of the NFTs that you have, or any of the in-game assets that people can look forward to checking out?
Let me share my screen so I can quickly.
Yeah, let's go ahead and look at that.
Okay, so this, for example, is this is a youth scout. This is the first asset we sold. These are sold via tickets of different levels, and they grant you one youth scout with attributes depending on the level of the ticket bought. And here we, for example, have one of the highest knowledge scout. This was 79 yesterday, and he came from the first scouting, which was just yesterday, where the first players came into the metaverse. And this scout in particular has the relationship master ability, therefore allowing to bring players back in 3 days instead of 6 days. The normal scouts take 6 days. This is the special ability that makes the process shorter. And here we can have one example of a player found by that scout. You can see there's different skills here, different abilities. This again is the most earliest version of this. There will be more things coming, but yeah. And the idea is that to find players, you need to have a scout, and the scout finds it, or then we will have soon our internal marketplace where you can trade the scouts and the players. So yeah, this is more or less where we are right now with our assets. And the next steps will be creating the teams, creating the actual lineups, and then we will have a PvE version of the game coming soon, and we expect to have this ready by the next month.
Yeah, this is super incredible. And was VRF used with, it was with the Youth Scout collection, if I'm not wrong, right?
It's using by the Youth Scouts collection, but not only, because when you send the scout to the scouting, we are also making use of VRF to make sure that the randomization of the resulting players is also verifiable on chain. So
got it.
Each time there's an asset going on, we're using VRF for this.
Nice. Very cool. Well, yeah, this has been super interesting just to learn about all the different aspects of MetaSoccer. It sounds like it's going to be really exciting for users. So definitely an awesome project that I'm going to be following. So is there anything in the roadmap that our community and your community should be aware of as you continue to grow?
Well, the next weeks will be really exciting because we have our internal marketplace coming this month. So it's this week and the next one. So this will be a big change for us because, NFTs are tradable everywhere. So you can already trade them. People are already trading them. but we don't have control over how they are traded, what do we show to properly show the different stats, etc. So we want users to be sure to understand what they are buying and selling. So having our marketplace will help a lot of this. And
Right.
then, yes, I mentioned before, in April, we plan to have both the club's management, the lineup management, and the earliest version of the PvE. So you can start playing the game and soon getting rewards from there. So yeah, there's many things coming on, and also from the marketing side, we will be having some great announcements coming very soon too. So stay tuned.
Nice. Okay, everybody stay tuned. And how can everybody follow MetaSoccer? We can definitely include some of the links below, but is there anything that people should be aware of specifically?
Well, the best thing is go to Discord, Telegram, your preferred platform. And then if you go to Telegram, ask for your regional channel, because we have groups all around the world in all the different languages. So make sure you join the one that fits you best, and you will for sure find a lot of community there supporting users, and they will help you with whatever you need. And also we are all of us devs, and we are there. So just, any questions, reach out, and our mods, or we will see, or our mods will report and everything. We're very open, so just use your preferred platform.
Fantastic. Yeah, preferred platform and preferred location and community and region. So yeah, it sounds like it's super customized depending on where you are. So that's amazing, Diego. I've learned so much. I'm very excited to see where MetaSoccer continues to go, and we really appreciate you coming on Chainlink Q&A today.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for having us. Thanks a lot for everyone to listening. And yeah, look forward to see you in the metaverse.
Yeah, sounds good. See you, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.